The year is 2026, and the world has become a labyrinth of digital noise and hollow promises. We live in an age where everything is disposable: ideas, relationships, and even the very concept of character. But if you step away from the neon glow of the megacities and stand in the silence of the high plains, you can still feel it. A presence that refused to be erased. It is the shadow of the Duke. John Wayne was never just a man in a movie. He was a standard, a biological and moral monument built on the foundation of the American frontier. Today, as a new generation wakes up to a world that feels increasingly brittle and uncertain, they are not looking forward to the next technological gadget for answers. They are looking back. They are searching for the Iron Duke. This is not some sentimental trip down memory lane. This is a tactical retrieval mission. They are searching for the qualities that the modern world has tried to breed out of them: integrity, grit, and the quiet courage to stand your ground when the rest of the world is running for cover. The legacy of John Wayne is not a relic in a museum. It is a survival manual for the 2026 soul. It is a reminder that while the tools change, the man behind the tool must remain unbreakable. The new generation is realizing that in a world of deep fakes and shifting truths, the only thing you truly own is your character. You see, the modern era has tried to tell us that the old ways are dead. They tell us that strength is a liability and that silence is a sign of weakness. But the new generation isn't buying it. They are looking at the grainy, 35mm archives and seeing a man who didn't need 1,000 followers to know he was right. They see a man who spoke with the authority of someone who had faced the storm and come out the other side. This is the neurological resurrection of the frontier spirit. These men and women are studying the Duke's life, not just his films, but the way he handled himself when the cameras were off. They are looking at his battle with the Big C, his unwavering loyalty to his country, and his refusal to apologize for his principles. They are discovering that the Duke's Code is the ultimate antidote to the anxiety and fragmentation of the digital age. It provides a center of gravity in a world that is spinning out of control. This new breed of architects is not interested in being liked. They are interested in being formidable. They are hardening their spirits and sharpening their focus, using the legend of John Wayne as their anvil. The ride is just beginning, and the legacy is more dangerous to the status quo than it has ever been. In 2026, the system is designed to keep you soft, predictable, and compliant. It wants you to stay within the climate-controlled comfort of the grid, never testing the limits of your endurance or the depth of your will. But the Duke's legacy is a direct assault on this culture of ease. The new generation is beginning to understand what John Wayne knew by instinct: that a man is forged in friction, not in comfort. They are reclaiming the concept of grit, that raw, unyielding perseverance that doesn't care about the odds. They are the ones who are turning off the screens and stepping out into the cold morning air to test their bodies and their minds. They look at the Duke's characters, the Ethan Edwards, the Rooster Cogburns, and they see the beauty in the struggle. They see that the hard path is the only one that leads to true sovereignty. This is why you see a resurgence of interest in traditional skills, in physical labor, and in the quiet discipline of the craftsman. The new generation is realizing that anti-fragility isn't just a buzzword. It was the baseline for the men who built the world. Every time they choose a difficult task over an easy distraction, the Duke's spirit breathes again. They are not just fans. They are heirs to a throne of iron and dust. But wait, the transformation goes even deeper. The new generation is using the Duke's image as a psychological anchor. In a world that is constantly trying to redefine what it means to be a man, the Duke stands as an immovable landmark. He represents a clear line between right and wrong, between strength and bullying, between leadership and ego. The Duke's Code is being integrated into the high-stakes world of modern entrepreneurship and leadership. These new leaders understand that authority is earned through consistent action, not through loud proclamations. They are adopting the Duke's presence, that quiet, heavy energy that commands a room without saying a word. They are trading the frantic energy of the internet for the slow, deliberate movement of a man who knows exactly where he is going. They are the silent guardians of their families and their communities, providing a shield against the volatility of the age. They aren't seeking the spotlight, they are seeking the truth. And in that search, they are finding that the spirit of John Wayne is not a ghost, but a guide. They are the new architects of the American spirit, building a foundation that will stand long after the digital noise has faded into silence. One of the most powerful aspects of the Duke's legacy in 2026 is the return to the sanctity of the word. In an era of fine print, legal loopholes, and social media backtracking, the idea that a man's word is his bond feels almost revolutionary. But the new generation is embracing this with a ferocity that is shaking the grid. They are looking at the way John Wayne's characters lived and died by their promises. They are learning that a man who cannot be trusted with his words cannot be trusted with anything. This is the integrity protocol of the new frontier. These men are making fewer promises, but the ones they make are carved in stone. They are the ones who show up when they say they will. They are the ones who finish what they start, even when the passion has worn off and only the grit remains. This level of consistency is becoming their greatest competitive advantage. In a world of flakiness and indecision, the man who stands by his word is the man who becomes a leader. The Duke's voice, echoing through the decades, reminds them that honor is not a feeling, it is a commitment. It is a daily practice of aligning your actions with your values, regardless of the cost. And for the new generation, the cost is a price they are more than willing to pay for the sake of their sovereignty. This return to honor is creating a moral resonance that is attracting others who are tired of the chaos. The new generation is building networks and communities based on these old-school principles, creating oases of order in the middle of the digital desert. They are using technology to coordinate, but they are using the Duke's code to govern themselves. They understand that without a moral compass, all the technology in the world is just a faster way to get lost. By looking back at the mid-20th century, they are finding the blueprints for decisive living. They are learning how to make hard choices without flinching. They are learning how to be stoic in the face of loss and humble in the face of victory. This is the hidden strength of the legacy. It provides a stable ground in an unstable world. The Duke's legend is a lighthouse, marking the rocks and showing the way to the harbor. As the storms of the 21st century intensify, those who have anchored themselves in these timeless values find that they are not just surviving, they are flourishing. They are the living proof that the legend of John Wayne was never just about a man. It was about a standard of excellence that any man, in any era, can choose to uphold. The new generation is also redefining what the frontier looks like in 2026. It is no longer a physical place on a map, but a psychological and spiritual territory. The frontier is the boundary between the known and the unknown, between the comfortable and the dangerous. And just like the Duke, the new generation is pushing that boundary every day. They are the sovereign architects of their own lives, refusing to be defined by the limitations of the system. They are using the Duke's command presence to navigate the complexities of globalism and artificial intelligence without losing their human essence. They are the ones who are building the new systems, the new businesses, and the new families that will sustain the future. Dr. Thorne's observations, though he belongs to a different world, acknowledge that this resilience is a biological necessity. We are wired to respond to the archetype of the wise protector, and the Duke is the ultimate modern archetype. By channeling his energy, the new generation is activating deep-seated survival circuits that have been dormant for decades. They are becoming more focused, more decisive, and more resilient to the stresses of the modern world. This is the biological inheritance of greatness. It is a gift passed down through the stories we tell and the examples we follow. Every time a young man in 2026 stands up for what is right, even when it is unpopular, he is walking in the Duke's boots. Every time a woman shows the grit to protect her home and her values, she is carrying the torch of the frontier. The legacy is not gender-specific, it is spirit-specific. It belongs to anyone who has the courage to be real in a world of artifice. The new generation is integrating this frontier psychology into every aspect of their lives. They are the lone riders of the digital age, capable of operating within the system while remaining fundamentally independent of it. They don't need the grid to tell them who they are, because they have a legend to remind them. They are building a world where character is once again the measure of a man. The resonance of the Duke's voice is not fading. It is growing louder as the world grows more desperate for his kind of clarity. We are witnessing the rise of a new breed of pioneer, one who is as comfortable with a computer as they are with a campfire, provided their heart remains in the right place. The frontier is calling, and the new generation is ready to answer. As we reach the final pages of this 47th chapter, we must understand that the ride never truly ends. The Duke may have left the screen years ago, but his spirit is more alive in 2026 than it has ever been. It lives in the quiet determination of the man who refuses to give up on his dreams. It lives in the fierce protection of the father who stands as a wall between his children and the chaos of the world. It lives in the integrity of the leader who chooses the hard truth over the easy lie. The torch has been passed, and it is now in your hands. You are the new generation. You are the one who must decide if the values of honor, grit, and sovereignty will survive the coming storms. The legacy of John Wayne is your blueprint, but you are the architect. Do not allow the softness of this age to dim your fire. Do not let the noise of the masses drown out the steady, rhythmic beat of your own conscience. Look at the horizon and see the vast, unexplored territory of your own potential. The frontier is not behind us. It is in front of us, and it requires the same level of courage and character that it always has. Stand tall, speak slow, and never, ever back down from a fight that is worth winning. Carry the Duke's spirit into the dark corners of the 21st century and light the way for others who are lost in the fog. The world is waiting for men and women of iron and dust. It is waiting for you to step into the boots that have been waiting for decades. The ride continues, the legend grows, and the future belongs to the unbreakable. Stay heavy, stay silent, and stay sovereign. The end of this chapter is only the beginning of your legacy.